the ancient village of Oju, nestled deep within the dense forests of West Africa, time seemed to move slower than in the surrounding kingdoms. Oju village was rich in traditions, deeply rooted in folklore, and known for the mysteries that lay beyond its outskirts. At the heart of these stories was one, in particular, passed down for generations, a tale of love, betrayal, and the blindness of pride. Our story begins with Adebayo, the most celebrated hunter in Oju village. Tall, with shoulders broad as the Iroko tree and eyes sharp as an eagle's, he was revered not just for his strength but for his keen intellect. No man or beast could outwit him, and his hunting prowess was legendary across the 7 villages. Yet, for all his skills, Adebayo had one flaw: his arrogance. He believed he was invincible, that no creature or man could best him. This pride would prove his undoing. One fateful market day, Adebayo's life took a turn when he met Oluwadamilola. She was a beauty like none other in Oshu village, with skin as dark as midnight and eyes that shimmered like the stars. Her laughter could make the trees sway, and her smile lit up the darkest of nights. It was said that her mother was not entirely human, that she had come from the spirits of the forest, and that Damilola possessed a power no mortal man could comprehend. Adebayo, enthralled by her beauty, decided he must make her his wife. But Damilola, wise beyond her years, sensed the arrogance in his heart. "You seek me only for my beauty, Adebayo," she warned. "A heart filled with pride cannot truly love." He dismissed her words with a smirk. "What do you know of love, woman? I am the greatest hunter in Oju village. No one can resist me, and neither shall you." Damilola sighed. "If you wish to marry me, you must prove your love, but beware. Pride has destroyed many men greater than you." Ignoring her cryptic words, Adebayo vowed to win her hand. The next day, he set out to the forest with his hunting party, determined to bring back the largest, most dangerous game Oju village had ever seen. It was then he encountered something that would change his fate forever: the mysterious white leopard. The white leopard was not an ordinary animal. It was said to be the guardian of the forbidden parts of the forest, a creature of both the spirit and mortal worlds. Its pelt shimmered in the sunlight, and its eyes were a deep, glowing gold. No hunter had ever caught it, and those who attempted never returned. But Adebayo, blind with pride, believed he could succeed where others had failed. He followed the creature deep into the forbidden woods, where the trees seemed to whisper secrets and shadows moved of their own accord. His men, growing fearful, pleaded with him to turn back, but Adebayo refused. "Are you cowards? I will have this beast, and I will show Damilola that I am worthy of her." The hunt continued for hours, with the leopard always just out of reach. It was as if it was toying with him, leading him deeper and deeper into the heart of the forest. Finally, at dusk, Adebayo found himself alone. His men had scattered, lost in the maze of trees and darkness. But there, ahead of him, stood the white leopard, its golden eyes locked onto his. Adebayo raised his spear, ready to strike. "Do not do this," a voice echoed through the trees. It was soft but commanding, like the wind itself. Adebayo paused, looking around. There was no one else in sight. "Who speaks?" he demanded. The voice came again, closer this time. "You hunt what cannot be hunted. Turn back now, and you may yet live." But Adebayo, as always, ignored the warning. With a swift motion, he hurled his spear at the leopard, but the spear never struck its target. Instead, the creature vanished into thin air, leaving only silence behind. Adebayo stood frozen in place, bewildered. Before he could move, the ground beneath him trembled, and the air grew thick with an unnatural fog. From the mist emerged a figure, tall, with eyes as golden as the leopard's, and a presence that made the trees bend in respect. It was so, the ancient spirit of the forest, the true guardian of the wilds. If only he had known, so whispered, staring directly into Adebayo's soul. The hunter, now terrified, tried to speak, but no words came. His legs felt heavy, as though rooted to the ground. You have been warned many times, Adebayo. You sought to conquer what you did not understand. Your arrogance has led you here, to a place where no man has returned from. Adebayo's heart raced, sweat pouring down his brow. What do you want from me? Noso's golden eyes glowed brighter. A life for a life. You sought the life of the white leopard, a creature not meant for your mortal hands. Now you will serve me. Before Adebayo could react, his body began to change. His skin shimmered, his hands elongating into claws, his bones twisting and reshaping. He cried out in agony, but his voice grew deeper, more primal. Within moments, the great hunter of Oju village was no more. In his place stood a white leopard, identical to the one he had hunted. You will roam these woods, forever a guardian of the forest you sought to conquer, so said, disappearing into the mist. Days passed, and Adebayo's hunting party returned to Oju village without him, spinning tales of his bravery and his tragic disappearance. Damilola, hearing the news, wept not for the loss of a lover, but for the waste of a life consumed by pride. She knew what had happened, for her mother's spirit had whispered it to her in the night. If only he had listened, if only he had known, she murmured, gazing into the depths of the forest where the white leopard now roamed. From that day on, the villagers of Oju spoke of the white leopard with fear and reverence. They said it watched over the forbidden parts of the forest, protecting it from those who would seek to harm it. And it was said that on moonless nights, the creature could be heard crying out, a sound not of a beast, but of a man who had lost everything to his pride. And so, the legend of Adebayo, the hunter who became the hunted, lived on. If only he had known the price of arrogance, perhaps his fate would have been different. But in the end, the forest took what was owed, and the spirits remained undefeated.